there's something very, very interesting there because, you've a couple of threads that I want to pick up on. You said that it wasn't bravery, but it was just kind of, a kind of release of, but, to be even willing to put yourself into the position where you might actually release like you did, that requires an intense amount of bravery. But the real bravery started that Sunday, because from then on, as you point out, you have been subject to the most vile and horrendous attacks from people who, don't know you, don't know a thing about you, and have got, I think, a completely misguided notion of who you are. But and for the longest time, there was nothing that you were actually really gaining from it. You were putting, the only thing you gained was, the need to be more watchful about where you go and, who you associate with, right?
I got a lot of death threats. I got called a racist, which is the easiest thing in the world to throw at a white guy who stands up and tells the truth. But the racist one was an interesting one because everybody went out going, hey, he's a racist. It's the easiest thing to throw at someone. But a lot of people stood up on my behalf immediately. Gayton McKenzie, Musi Maimani, Maletsi Mbeki, and Enoch Gondogwana. He went on SABC, and a journalist asked him, he was talking about something else, what about just Rob Hersov's racist comments? And Enoch said, he is not a racist. You can say what you like about him. You may not like him, but he is a patriotic South African and he has the right to say what he says. Yes. And chapeau Enoch Gondogwana. I mean, those people came out and then boom, that was it, over.
Yeah.
But the worst has been the death threats. The worst has been the deplatforming. The worst has been having to walk away from businesses I founded.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about this fund that I helped raise where I got stabbed in the back by all the European DFIs and the American one, but that was under Biden.
Don't leave us in suspense.
So myself and two Swedish friends of mine, one a billionaire and one an extraordinary venture investor, decided to set up a $250 million Series A first-time fund to invest in technology in Africa. We got to $150 million purely from high net worth individuals, private investors, many of whom I brought in. We hired a great GP team.
Yeah.
One in Joburg, incredible Natalie Colby. One in Nigeria and Lagos, and one in Nairobi. And we got to about 150 million, but we hadn't raised any institutional money. And the DFIs, the development finance institutions, are the big money. Yeah. And they called us and said, how come you haven't asked us to invest in your fund? And we said, well, we didn't think we needed you. And they said, well, we want to. This is like the most high profile. We had $30 billionaire unicorn tech founders as investors in the fund. Founders of Spotify, founders of Klarna. I mean, this is the rock star fund of Africa.
Yeah.
And when they were doing their due diligence, one of my Swedish buddies called me and said, we've got a problem. The DFIs have said they're not putting a cent in if you're involved or you get any of the economics. It was leftists stabbing me in the back. And I said, why? They said, you're too political. Okay?
Yeah.
And my two buddies said to me, Rob, we will tell them to get stuffed. We are allies with you. We're friends with you. We're loyal to you. And I went home and I thought about it. And I said, you know what? If I stay involved, we won't raise the DFI money. We won't get to 250. 150 is sub the amount we need. And I walked away from it. I said, good luck, guys. I'll go and do other stuff. Okay? Got stabbed in the back by leftist European DFIs.
Yeah. And the same.
And extrapolate that across 20 other businesses.
Yeah. No.
So there's been a lot of pain, financial, personal, death threats. I mean, 6 weeks ago, a SAPS officer went on TikTok and said what happened to Charlie Kirk needs to happen to Rob Hersov on TikTok, South African police force officer.
Jesus Christ. I mean.
And I called Ian Cameron and he said, go to a police station, file a charge, we'll destroy the guy. And then I called my buddy, Dale Smith, my lawyer, who I've never needed because I've never sued anyone or been sued.
Yeah.
Dale said, ignore it. He said, you'll just highlight the haters.
Yeah.
And so I went that route, and it's nonstop though.
Yeah, I can only imagine. But this is why I think, you actually do deserve the credit for
Thank you.
being willing to stand. And I
I'm
think,
not going to give up now.
yeah,
I'm too deep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But what what really makes me, people go, why are you doing it? What's the end goal? Why am I doing it is because I can. My dad said, I've never been more proud of you for doing and saying what other people can't afford to do and say. Tick number one. But also because I can't be fired.
Yeah.
I can't be deplatformed anymore. Okay. and the businesses of mine that are succeeding despite my political utterances.
Yes.
And I have incredible business partners, incredible friends that go, don't worry, Rob, we love you. We're proceeding anyway. I just have a much smaller, more focused portfolio as a result, which is a good thing. And what's the end goal? The end goal is happening right now. It's when more people stand up and say the same thing. When I'm not the only guy to say Futsak ANC in the comments of someone else's podcast. Other people are doing it now. I got a buddy, Mohammed Kaji, who beats me to it. Yeah. Credit to Mohammed. So more and more people are standing up. More and more people are using the word morons, clowns, spineless Cyril. It's happening.
Yeah.
And the political needle, as you and Frans Cronje so correctly identify, is shifting. But is the Overton window moving?
Yes. Well, I think you moved the Overton window. Just on that kind of last question you asked there before we go on, I want to make this point to you that in the time since you got up and spoken, we've now seen that BE as a kind of policy platform even News 24 has come out against it.
But they're ANC bootlickers, aren't they?
Yeah, but I mean, it shows exactly how far it's gone. That the DA can propose a serious policy that says, and that is not outright rejected by the ANC, that says we should
debate.
We should define disadvantage on the basis of actual poverty and not on the basis of race. And the ANC doesn't go, well, this is a front for, a racist takeover of South Africa. They go, actually, well, that seems reasonable. That the ANC never used to countenance, a colleague of mine, James Myburg, makes the point that Mbeki actively decided not to debate people because he didn't want to acknowledge that another point of view even existed. And now we have had this year Cyril Ramaphosa going to his, the local councillors in the Northwest in a speech saying, we need to learn from the DA because they know how to govern well.
Do you think he regrets saying that?
I think, I'm not sure. I have a slight belief that President Ramaphosa might find undue pleasure in taking actions to unravel the movement that gave him everything he has, because it seems as though his presidency has been directed towards completely destroying the ANC, and he seems unable of making a good strategic decision. So I'm not sure he does regret it. I think he actually might honestly believe these things.
I think he does honestly believe it.
Yeah.
But he's too trapped to actually say it.
But I wanted to make the point, and I'm being very, very complimentary as a means of lulling you into a false sense of security, because I have a couple of tough questions.
I'm waiting for the gotcha.
Yeah. a couple of tough questions coming.
Yeah.
But I think that it needs to be said that unequivocally that there seems to be no other argument that can be made that the reason that what you did out of a love of this country, and it is shown and been writ large, because as you point out, there's been almost nothing but hurt that resulted from it. But probably a lot of incredible experiences, people coming up to you in ways that they might not have. But you have taken so much flack for this, and what you did has actually actively improved this country. And so,
just to add one thing, it was one thing attacking the ANC, because what they've done is so obvious. It's so clear. Everybody knows they're corrupt, they're incompetent, cadre deployments, etc. MK and EFF are easy to attack because they're the lunatic fringe.
Yeah.
But when I took on corporate South Africa, that did a huge amount of damage.
Yeah.
Because corporate South Africa, taxpayers, and the interfaith church community are all silent.
Yeah.
The real power lies in those three stools. And, solving the tax, civil disobedience on paying taxes is something we should look into very, very carefully. There's something there we should look at. Take Gandhi as a good example. On the interfaith and church community, where are they? In the NG Kerk in about 1985, distanced itself from apartheid in the national government. And that was the beginning of the underpinning, when faith walks away, when churches walk away. But they haven't spoken out against the ANC and the corruption and evil yet. Where are the churches?
Yeah.
But the corporates, the silence of the lambs, and that has done a huge amount of damage. Very few corporate CEOs take my calls.